Okay, so let's go over the ingredients. Heavy whipping cream, 4 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 8 ounces of Colby Jack, 8 ounces of Vermont extra sharp cheddar cheese, coarse kosher salt, black peppercorn, 4 cups of chicken broth. You know I always got to add in the Better Than Bouillon roasted chicken base. 2 cups of matchstick carrots. If you would like to chop them down yourself, you absolutely can do, but ain't nobody got time for all that today. I have 2 heads of broccoli, a half of a sweet onion, 4 cloves of garlic. You're also going to need avocado oil, a pinch of sugar, and 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. You see that? You see that? You see that? Don't ask me for the damn ingredient list. Now, come on. First things first, go on ahead and shred down both of your blocks of cheese. Once the cheese is shredded, go on ahead and set that to the side. Next up, we're going to mince down both the onion and the garlic. Now, of course, we know that all onions are not made equal, so I will say this right now. You only want to end up with a half a cup of minced onion. You do not want it to be too onion heavy. So even if you do decide to go on ahead and buy those onions that are already pre-sliced up, you're likely going to need to chop them even smaller. And I will just say this now, you know, when making soups and things along those lines, recipes that don't really require a lot of ingredients, you want to use as many fresh ingredients as possible. So for all of the soups that you're probably about to see me make, I'm going to be using fresh garlic, none of the jarred stuff. I have nothing against it, but it's not really the best for soups. That is about how fine you want your minced garlic to be, nice and small. And so a rundown again, there's the half a cup of the minced onion and the 4 cloves of garlic that have all been minced. Go on ahead and set that to the side. Now for my broccoli, I actually like to rinse off my broccoli before I chop it down because I'm going to be chopping this down very, very small. And if I try to rinse it off after, it's all pretty much just going to disintegrate and fall apart. So I'm going to rinse this first and then come back and give this a rough chop. As far as the size, you can chop down your broccoli as big or as small as you would like it. I like for mine to be pretty chopped down, you know, almost to a mince. And if you're wondering if you can use the bottoms of the broccoli in this recipe, you absolutely can. My advice will be to just make sure that you chop them down really, really small and saute them down with the onions and the garlic so that it can kind of get a head start on cooking because this part is a lot tougher. You don't have to. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Today, I likely will not be. Again, I like to chop mine down relatively small, but remember, it will also break down as it continues to cook. So if you would like to keep a little bit more texture to it, you can vary the size of your broccoli. And if you really want to create more texture to it, you can reserve some of the broccoli to the side and add in just a little bit towards the last 5 minutes or so cooking so that you'll have some pieces of broccoli with a little bit more bite. I personally don't like that, but I know some people do. I'm going to do this to the other head of broccoli and then set it to the side. Alrighty, y'all, so you all are going to hear me saying this phrase a lot over the course of the next coming weeks while I'm doing the soups and stews and all of those things, which is mise en place, which means to put in place, which is just simply a cooking term that we use to make sure that you have all of your food prepped and ready to go. The thing about most soups and all of those types of dishes, a majority of the work is going to come from the prep, not the actual cooking itself. So it just makes your life a lot easier if you have everything prepped and ready to go. We have our carrots ready, our broccoli, our chicken stock, our salt and pepper, the chicken base in the back, our cheese, our onions, our garlic, our 2 tablespoons of the flour. We have our 4 tablespoons of the flour, 4 tablespoons of the butter, and I have my pinch of sugar right back there. And the neutral oil that I'm going to be working with today is avocado oil. So let's get to cooking. To that, I'm also going to add in the 4 tablespoons of the unsalted butter. Allow that to melt. Now that the butter is starting to melt, we can go on ahead and add in both the onion and the garlic, but make sure the temperature isn't up too high because you do not want to burn that garlic. You can now add in the black peppercorn, add in as much or as little as you would like. And I'm going to add in roughly about a half a tablespoon or so of some coarse kosher salt. Give all of that a good mix. Now that both the onion and the garlic is becoming fragrant, I'm going to go on ahead and add in the matchstick carrots and also give that a mix. And to avoid having that nasty raw flour taste in your cheddar soup, you want to go on ahead and add in your 4 tablespoons of flour now and give that a mix, but make sure that you are continuing to mix and do this process for roughly 1 to 2 minutes. Make sure the heat is not up too high. And to boost up the flavor, I'm now going to add in the 1 teaspoon of the roasted chicken Better Than Bouillon. Give that a good mix. As you begin to start to add in your stock, you want to make sure that you're whisking it so that it becomes nice and smooth. So only add in a little bit at a time. Now that we've gotten that first bit of whisking done, you can go on ahead and add in the remaining broth. So altogether, that's 4 cups, and give that a whisk. Don't allow this to come up to a boil, but you can let it come up to a steady simmer. We can now go on ahead and add in our delicious broccoli and give that a mix as well. And we can now also go on ahead and add in all of our lovely cheese and the 1 cup of the heavy whipping cream. Give all of that a good mix. My God. My God. Allow that to come up to a simmer. Make sure that you're mixing it so that nothing is sticking. Alrighty, y'all. So now that the cheese is starting to melt, I just wanted to give you guys a bit of advice. Before you start to get a little too overzealous and want to start to add in more salt or any additional seasonings, wait until all of that cheese has melted and then give it a taste. Remember, the cheese itself is also going to add a lot of saltiness to this. So just, give it a few seconds, allow everything to melt, mingle together before you start to add in any additional salt. Once it's starting to come up to a slight simmer, you can go on ahead and turn the temperature down to low, place the lid on it, and allow it to cook for about 5 to 10 minutes, but make sure that you are occasionally stirring it. All right, y'all, so I have gone in and tasted it for any additional salt and pepper. I'm now going to go in and add in the 1 teaspoon of sugar. Do not add any more. And as far as consistency is concerned, if you want yours on the thicker side, you can reduce how much chicken stock you use. I do not like my broccoli cheddar soup thick. I can't stand it. So that's the reason why I use 4 cups of stock. If you know for a fact that you want yours thicker, then I would advise you to use 2.5 to 3 cups of the stock. And then that would also mean that you would need to adjust how much heavy whipping cream that you'll be using. But this is the consistency that I like for mine to be. That, my loves, is how I make my broccoli cheddar soup. I hope y'all enjoyed this recipe. Look, the thing about soups are most of them are extremely easy to make. It's just all a matter of key ingredients, starting off with fresh stuff and just throwing it all in the pot. You know what I mean? So I hope y'all enjoy, because trust me, I have many more coming, honey. And don't forget, my cookbook, Cultural Mosaic, a food tour around the globe, is available at this point. So all you got to do is click the link in my bio, because I have many recipes in that book that you are also going to love. Shall I go in for a taste test? We shall. I'm going to tell you something about broccoli and cheddar soup. It is very few recipes you will ever hear me say, salt and pepper is all you need. But this is one of them. Don't get out of control. Garlic powder, onion powder, all that. You don't need none of that. I'm telling you, if you start off with a good broth, add it with good cheese, you do not need a lot. I promise you. Trust me. It is just, it's one of my favorites. It really is. It really is one of my favorite soups. And I hope y'all try it out, honey. Let me know what y'all think. Because my God, on today.